Hello everyone, I hope your weekend's off to a great start. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm doing an unboxing for the Scrapping for Less April 2018 card kit. This is how your kit will come arrived in case you're new, but it comes in a priority mail envelope, and then inside the envelope you get a bag filled with a whole bunch of goodness. So we're just going to take a look at what comes in this month's kit. The theme for this month is called The Colors of Spring, so beautiful florally springtime elements in here. Now this is a download sheet that you can download at the Scrapping for Less store. It's an ingredient sheet that tells you everything that comes in the kits. Scrapping for Less has two kits available, the Double Dip Sundae and also the Banana Split. So I'm going to show you both kits that you can get with this, but along with the download sheet you can download a sketch sheet. Now today for my 4 cards that I'm making I'm going to be using the sketch sheet. I'll leave links below in the description area where you can check it out. If you're interested you can download both the ingredient sheet and the sketch sheet. So we're just going to take a look at what comes in here. Now you get 8 sheets of cardstock. These two are Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110 pound cardstock. Very sturdy for card bases, but also Copic friendly for your coloring. So you get 2 sheets of those, and then you also get some colored cardstock. This is grout gray, real soft, warm gray. You also get a snow cone. This is a insulation pink cardstock. This is grape jelly. You get a natural, and then you also get jelly bean green. So very muted colors, but I really like that because there's a lot of real soft and bold patterns that go perfect with the cardstock. Now in the Scrapping for Less's kits you get 4 collections. Each collection is custom coordinated with elements that match that collection. So the neat thing about it is you get 4 of them. So it's like 4 kits in one basically. So let's just take a look at collection number 1. You always get a 6x6 papers in here, and you get 6 of each. In collection number 1, you get the Spring Market by Echo Park pattern papers. These are double-sided, and again, you get 6 of them. So beautiful florally patterns. Love this collection. This is a very beautiful collection. So those are your papers in collection number 1. Now you always get an envelope in each of the collections, so there's 4 envelopes total. And then you get a stamp set. This stamp set is from Pink and Maine. It's called Raining Frogs. It's adorable. And then along with that you get some itty bitty mini clothespins. These are pink. I'm not sure what color yours will be, but you also get some doodlebug doilies. You get 4 of them, and they're the perfect size for card making. And then you get some custom coordinated Kennedy gray sequins that will go perfectly with your pattern papers. So that's everything in collection number 1. Now we're going to go on to collection number 2. The pattern papers for this collection are from Lawn Fawn. It's the Perfectly Plaid Spring, and these are single-sided. Now if you're new to Scrapping for Less card kits, you'll notice, well, what Scrapping for Less does is they take a paper pad and they divide it. So it'll be the same collection, just different patterns or different colors. So what I show you here might not be the ones that you get, but it'll be from the same collection, and everything coordinates beautifully. So those are your papers, and you also get this stamp set. This is actually from Sunny Studios. It's called Spring Greetings, and Sunny Studios actually made it especially for Scrapping for Less. So it's a Scrapping for Less exclusive, which is so neat. So you get that stamp set, and then you also get some Pebbles word stickers. These are a real bold pink, but these are great stickers to add for sentiments to your card. You also get some wood veneers. You get butterflies and flowers. You get 5 of them, and the nice thing about these is you can color them with your favorite medium. Distress inks, Copics, your even embossing powders go really pretty over the wood veneers. And then in this one you also get some Kennedy gray sequins that go with the papers beautifully. So that's everything in collection number 2. Now we're going to move along to collection number 3. We're going to start off with the paper again. This paper is from My Favorite Things, and it's the Bundles of Blossoms These are single-sided 6x6 sheets, and again you get 6 of them. And the colors I show you here, you may not be the colors you get, but it's all from the same collection. But you get 6 sheets of these, and these are really pretty because they're two-tone floral patterns. You get your envelope, and then in this collection you get a Stamping Bella stamp. This is so cute. This is from the Tiny Townie collection. This is the Daffodil Girl, and she is so pretty. She's on the larger side too, so she's a perfect focal point for your card. So you get that stamp set, and then you also get some card fronts. These are A2 size card fronts, so they have a metallic polka dot on them. So you get 3 of those, and the colors will probably vary on those also. And then you get some Dairy craft twine. This is a little over 12 inches, so perfect for a single card with no waste. I like that. So that's everything in collection. Oh no, besides the sequins. And these are fun because these have texture on them. So those coordinate beautifully with that collection. Now for collection number 4. The paper pad is Vintage Bliss by Simple Stories. And you get 6 again, and these are double-sided, which are nice. We're just going to take a look at them. I like this one because it has text in the background, but it's real pretty. Butterflies, you get some fun prints in here. Then you get your envelope, and then in this collection you get some Doodlebug Thinking of You stickers. There's 4 stickers that say thinking of you, and you just peel them away, and they're perfect for cards. You kind of have to peel them away real carefully, but they make great sentiments for cards. Now these are nice because you can color them in too. You can use your Copics to color those in. So here's your stamp set. Your stamp set for this collection is from Stampendous. It's called Crocus Droplet. And I hope I'm saying that right. But it's a pretty large stamp set that's perfect size for your cards. Nice thing about Stampendous is the back side gives you some examples on some cards. But that's your stamp set. You also get some washi tape. Some yellow washing tape. Mine here has polka dots on it, but your patterns will vary. You might get stripes or diagonals. But you get a roll of yellow washi tape, and then you also get your Kennedy Gray sequins. Now these ones are really pretty. These aren't your typical sequins. These are actually little flowers. You get small flowers and large flowers, and the iridescent hue to these is so pretty. I'm going to give you a close-up of what they look like, but they are just little itty-bitty flower sequins, and they coordinate with the Vintage Bliss papers beautifully. So this is everything in collection number 4. So lots of bells and whistles. Now if you get the Double Dip Sundae, this is everything you'll get here. 4 collections in your cardstock. Okay, now I happen to have the Banana Split Level, so Banana Split Level you get an extra goodie bag. So, of course, you get your little sweet. I'm sure you'll get that with your Double Dip Sundae, too. But these are actually watercolor panels from Concord and 9th. You get 2 of them. Real pretty. They have an embossing already on them, so all you have to do is add your watercolor, which is fantastic. The ones I have actually have a little bit of a texture to them. They're a little bit larger than an A2 size card base. So you can trim it down to cover your front, or trim it in half and create 4 panels. So this one has like a herringbone pattern, and this one has like a little swirls, but those might vary also, but you get those. Now this is going to be fun to play with. This is from Avery L, and it's a watercolor ink, and it's in celery green, perfect for those watercolor panels. And then you get the Scrapping for Less Spring Bloom stamp set. This is an exclusive to Scrapping for Less, and Brutus Monroe collaborated with Scrapping for Less to create this stamp set. It has beautiful sentiments and a few floral images, which is great. So, nice thing about the sentiment stamp is some of the stamps in each of the collections don't have sentiments. So this is where this comes in handy. So that's everything. Oh, and then you get your die. This is from L'Enfant. It's the Spring Sprig die. It creates a real pretty sprig that you can create with little flowers on it. Really neat. And the nice thing about the angle of this is it creates a real pretty circle wreath too. So we have to jump in and get started with our first card. And so I'm going to use sketch number 1, and I'm going to also use collection number 4. So I'm going to grab the Stampendous stamp set, the Crocus Droplet, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of no-line watercoloring. I'm grabbing my stamp platform here. I'm going to place it in there, and this is actually a piece of C&CT watercolor cardstock. I made a panel that would fit my image perfectly. Just going to place it in there and pick it up. Now, after I close the cover, my stamp would not stick. And I don't know if you're supposed to remove that plastic cover on the front. When I tried to remove it, it was super tacky, so I left it on there. Now, I tried cleaning it off and it still wouldn't stick. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but to fix what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take some temporary adhesive and go over the top of my stamp. That way it'll stick to the lid of my stamp platform. And then I'll just solve that problem. This is Tombow temporary adhesive. Just add it to the very top. And then I'm going to stamp my image with some real pale ink. This is Simon Says Stamp's Barely Beige ink. It's great for watercoloring. Now I did skip all the watercoloring because the video was running really long. But there's my image, and I'm just going to use my Distress inks to color in my image. It was very easy to color in, but there we have it. Now once my panel's done, Bubbles came around the front yard, so you're going to hear him loud and clear. But I cut out some of the natural cardstock. I created a panel with that, and then I also cut down a strip of the pattern, the plaid pattern paper. I'm going to adhere that to the bottom of my panel. And then I did cut the pink polka dot pattern paper into a fishtail banner. Now, the sketch shows the banner on the front side of the panel here, but I didn't want to cover up my little mouse, so I just put it on the back side. That's the great thing about the sketch sheets, is you can kind of improvise to your style. I just popped that up and placed that on my panel. Now I'm going to flip, well, I'm going to grab my card base. I'm sorry, I hit the camera and so it's wobbly. But I just trimmed down my cardstock lengthwise, and then I score it down the middle, and then it makes a perfect A2 size card base. And again, for this card, I'm going to use the same natural colored cardstock. Just place my panel right on top, and then that finishes off. Oh no, I wanted to add bells and whistles. I'm going to grab 3 of the itty bitty iridescent flower sequins and glue them on there with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. And then I'm going to take some glossy accents. And I love doing this because it looks so much like raindrops. But I'm going to go over each one of those raindrops on that panel with my glossy accents. It's going to create a real nice raindrop effect. Lovely. Now, so that's my card number 1 using sketch number 1. This is actually collection number 4. So here's the sketch, and here's my improvisation. Now we're going to move along to card number 2 using sketch number 2. Here's a close-up. Okay, now I am going to actually use collection number 2 and sketch number 2 for card number 2. So I'm going to use the stamp set. I'm going to stamp the little tulip on a piece of white cardstock, and I'm actually going to stamp a few of them in a row, just side by side. I think I ended up stamping 6. Now once we have that done, I'm going to stamp just one of the little bunnies in here, and I'm just using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp my images. It's a Copic friendly ink, and then I do plan on coloring in these images with my Copic markers. Now for this card, I actually left the coloring in. They were super duper simple, and I did leave the colors in the left hand corner for you guys. But I just wanted pink tulips, the same color all around, and then I colored in the leaves with the green. And then I did, for my little bunny, I did color in with some cool grays. So there we have our images. Now I'm going to fussy cut them out, but I want to do something a little different with the tulips. I'm going to just fussy cut out the top portion of my tulips, and then the bottom portion I'm going to leave a straight line. I thought this would be really neat for my card today. And then I did fussy cut out my little bunny. Okay. Excuse me. Now, I cut out, well, I'm going to use one of my lacy border dies from Lawn Fawn to cut out a little scallop border on the very bottom of my white panel here. And then I'm going to take 2 square rectangle dies and cut out a little square frame. For this card, we're going to create a shaker, so I needed a frame. I cut out a panel that will fit my card base to where it'll have a little bit of a white border. And then I did cut out a backing for my little shaker square. I'm going to take my tape runner here, and then we're going to go ahead and add our acetate behind here. And then of course we got to add our foam tape. Now we get to add our little sequins to that. And these sequins are so pretty, they're so soft, and I thought it'd be a nice little background. So I'm just going to fill up my little shaker panel. Once we have that done, I'll add my little white cardstock on the back. Lovely. I think that looks really fun. Okay. Now I'm going to adhere my shaker to my white panel towards the top there. And then just using my tape runner, I'm going to adhere my tulips. Well, let's pop up our little bunny and place that in the center of the shaker. But I'm just going to add a tape to the very bottom portion of my tulips, and then the top portion is going to overlap on my shaker, and they're just going to automatically pop up because of the width of the shaker, and I like that. I think that turned out really fun. Now we're going to stamp the sentiment. Sentiment for this card says Spring Greetings, which is so pretty. I'm just going to stamp it with some VersaFine ink on the very bottom. Okay, for my card base for this card, we're going to pop up this panel, and then eventually we'll put that on our card base. But I'm just using the white cardstock that came in the kit, created an A2 size card with that. I'm going to adhere my blue plaid paper directly to my card base, and then I'll remove the backing off of my panel here and then stick that in the middle. And then that will complete that card. Now I didn't add any other bells or whistles. I thought it was busy enough, but that's card number 2 using sketch number 2 and collection number 2. Okay, now moving along to card number 3, I wanted to really use this spring sprig die from Lawn Fawn. And sketch number 3 had a circle on there, so I thought a wreath would go perfect. I'm just going to separate my little dies here. There's some itty bitty flowers, and there's also little dots that will fill in the center of the flowers, but I'm not going to use those for that card. Now I trimmed down a piece of the grout gray cardstock, the jelly bean green, and then also the insulation pink cardstock. I wanted the pink flowers, the green sprigs, and then I'm also going to use the gray cardstock to cut out 3 sprigs with that. So there we have it, all our little elements. Now I thought it would be nice to put them on a piece of vellum, so I cut out a circle with some vellum I had in my stash. And then what I'm going to just do is start off with the green sprig, add some glue behind it, and place that on my vellum piece. And then I'll grab a gray sprig and then add that to my vellum, and then I'm going to do that all the way around my entire piece of vellum. And I think that looks so fun, and it does add a lot of dimension, and I really like that effect. Okay, now I'm going to add my little pink flowers just here and there. that little die will cut out 3 flowers. So I did it 3 times. So I have actually nine pink flowers. I'm going to add my little flowers around my wreath. And I think that looks very dainty. I like that. Okay. Next I cut out 2 panels using the pink cardstock and the gray. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer and at a diagonal cut out the pink paper. I'm just using sketch number 3 kind of as a guide, but I'm going to use my tape runner and adhere that to the gray cardstock. So I have a nice little diagonal pattern on there. And then I also cut out 3 strips of cardstock with fishtail banners. I have the pink, the gray, and then I did cut out a white one, all 3 different sizes. I'm going to just use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I'm going to glue them all together. I'm going to add the gray one. This card I wanted to keep very natural, and it was very elegant, and I really liked the way this turned out. So there's my little fishtail banners. Now I have my vellum piece, and I was thinking, how am I going to pop that up on my card without adhesive showing? So my solution was I cut out a little circle, and then using the Spring Bloom stamp set from Scrapping for Less, there's a sentiment in there that says hello. I just stamped that with VersaFine ink, popped it up, and then placed it in the center of my wreath. And then this way I can add adhesive to the back side, and you won't even be able to tell, but I still have the dimension that I wanted. I'm just going to place that to the right side of my panel here. And then I'm going to add I'm going to trim down my fishtail banners. And then I'll just flip those over and add some dimensional adhesive behind there, and then place them back on my panel. Okay. I think that looks very earthy and very elegant, I think. For my card base for this card, I'm going to be using another piece of the white cardstock. And I'm just going to tape my panel right in the center. Now we need some bells and whistles, so I thought it would be really fun to use my Nuvo Simply White glitter drops, jewel drops. And so I'm going to add some white dots all around my wreath. And then for the center of the flowers, I'm going to add some Nuvo White Blizzard glitter drops. And so that's it for that card. I think it turned out so pretty, and I love the white drops, the way it gave it a real pretty accent to the card. But that's card number 3, sketch number 3. Okay, now for my final card. This is probably my favorite because I love this little gal. I'm going to use the Stamping Bella stamp that's in collection number 3. Now I completely skipped the coloring because my video is running really long. So I hope you're sticking with me. This is my favorite card. But I'm going to stamp this little gal with my Memento Tuxedo Black ink on a piece of Copic friendly cardstock here. And then I did color her in. I wanted her, I chose colors that kind of coordinated with the pattern paper that came with this collection. But she turned out so cute. I just think she's adorable. But there she is. And I do have requests for the colors that I use, so I'm leaving them in the left here for you guys. So if you want to stop the video and write those down, the colors are there for you guys. But I'm going to use my die cut machine to cut out a panel, but I wanted my panel to be a little bit more narrow, so that I'm just taking my stitch die and then scooting it over a little bit, and then I'm going to run it through again. That way I created a narrower rectangle, but I still have stitching all around. So that's a great way to create smaller panels with your rectangle dies. Okay, now I'm going to use that sprig die again, and using the Jelly Bean Green cardstock, I'm going to cut out 2 sprigs, and then I want some flowers that match her dress. So I'm going to use my Copic markers. I'm just going to color in all 3 colors on a piece of white cardstock, and then I'm going to actually take the little flower dies that came with the die that came in the banana split level. And I'm going to cut out 3 sets of flowers. And then I did cut out a little circle using one of my circle dies, and that's going to be where I put my sentiment. I'm just going to add some glue drops to my sprigs there. That way I can attach my little flowers. I think that looks so fun. One more. Okay, now once we have that done, I am going to stamp my sentiment. The sentiment I chose for this card was from the Spring Bloom stamp set. Again, it was for Scrapping for Less and Brutus Monroe, an exclusive for the banana split level. I chose Happy Spring. Just going to stamp that in the center of my circle. Okay, now for my pattern papers, I chose there's like a fuchsia and a pink that go perfect with her dress. So I'm going to just use my tape runner and adhere the darker color to the lighter color. And then I'm going to go ahead and just use my tape runner and adhere that to my white card base. Now, the sketch sheet shows that there's a bow or some ribbon, so I grabbed some pink ribbon from my stash, and I'm going to tie a bow all the way to the left. And this bow actually gave me a little bit of problems, so I skipped all the problem, and then I just edited that out. But I finally got it the way I liked. And then I'm going to pop up my little gal. She's going to go pretty close to the left side of my panel where the bow is. Lovely. Okay, now we need to add a little sentiment. I'm going to add a little bit of tape behind my sentiment and then kind of arrange my little sprigs behind it. And then I did add foam tape behind it and then pop that up and placed it on my card base. Now for bells and whistles, we need a little bit of shimmer, so I'm using some Nuvo glitter drops. These are White Blizzard. I'm going around the top portion of my little gal's dress, a little bit on her hair and shoes, and then the center of all those little flowers. And then that completes my fourth project for today. If you're a subscriber, I hope this gives you guys some ideas and inspiration, and if you're new and want to learn more about the Scrapping for Less kits, I will leave links below in the description area for you. And again, well, here's a quick look at all 4 cards I made today. Scrapping for Less is having a blog hop, guys, and there's tons of inspiration out there using the sketch sheet. I encourage you to check that out as well. I wish you a fantastic day. Thanks so much for stopping by. I will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.